Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the motherfucking dive bar. And today is National Florida Panther Day, baby. We got Big C's in the chat today. What's going on, Big C's?
Yo, 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 gentlemen. Thank you for having me, man. Wow, what a freaking run. Holy shit.
Woo!
Hell yeah, dude. And not just for the Panthers, dude.
Yeah.
It's been such a run for you, man. And I don't even know where to even start that.
Busy
Dude, I'm
boy.
shaking right now, baby.
Busy boy.
Let's go. Yeah,
Let's go, guys.
I can't even know. I don't even know where to start with that. So honestly, for all Dolphins fans out there, this is a Panthers podcast. Today, we are not running the tape for the first time in podcast history. So, Ceaz, how you've been on a generational run, as I've called it, and as many people have called it. How did this season come about as far as the content that you've been involved in, the whole biz thing? You're going national, you're getting birthday shout outs from these guys on national television. Take us back to the beginning and where did that all begin?
Well, man, it all started when Florida was going to play Toronto. And if you guys all know, Biz is a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan,
Sure.
right? He acts like he's played for the team, which he hasn't even touched any foot in the locker room. So, like Keith Yandel said, Big C's played as many games with the Panthers than he's played with the Maple Leafs. So he actually just started talking shit about our fans. So he goes, I'm sick and tired of these 27 and a half or 27 dirtbag fans, right? And I saw that post. I'm like, all right, it's time to take matters in my own hands. And I was like, I'm just gonna do a little video, hype up our crowd, hype out our team, our fan base, because our fan base never got the credit that they needed, right?
Mhm.
It's always like Florida never has the fans. Well, you know what? These 26 and a half fans, 2 times Stanley Cup champions. Let's fucking go.
Two times.
Yeah, and it's just been, like I said, it's just been a generational run. What's it been like for you to be involved on that level? I mean, you started a podcast in January. You're
Yeah,
getting all the support. Not even just
bro.
from you've had the support last year. And we I think even all Dolphins fans, even if you're not a Panthers fan, you saw the. Hold on, I gotta shout. I gotta shout out in the trenches again, dropping the dude, dropping the wallet, man. We appreciate you
That's awesome.
day and night, man. It's we love the fans on here. We just had in the trenches on and backstage, and he dropped us another one, man. I'm sure
You
we'll
the
Like
legend.
Benny, bro. Benji.
that'll be good use. A lot of stuff that we do, it doesn't come for free, and we appreciate the support and the help with that. So shout out in the trenches. But yeah, Big C's. We all saw the video last year where Coach came off the bus, gave you a big hug.
Oh, yeah.
You were
Iconic.
champagne and
Iconic.
some beers. So what has it been that I mean that was an iconic moment for you. But then this year, take us
Yeah, so
through.
yeah, so like it's crazy because last year, just I kind of go back to how these last 3 years have been. Kind of getting to tell a little bit of my story here.
Mhm.
3 years ago, I was diagnosed with chondrosarcoma on my right knee. So they had to do a procedure during the year that we were down 3-1 to the Boston Bruins.
Mhm.
When we came back, and I ended up seeing that series, and we ended up winning in Game 7 in overtime with that Beregi shot. Most incredible game I've ever witnessed at home. Like, I don't know where you guys were, but that was one hell of a game, right?
Mhm.
The hell of a series. I mean, um, and I ended up having a procedure that week, and it was just like an outpatient procedure. Little did I know that I would be having cardiac arrest, and ended up dying on the table for 3 minutes,
Jesus.
and was in a coma for 3.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Um, so I didn't even get to experience that cup run really 2 years ago. So I ended up waking up from the coma when we were playing the Carolina Hurricanes. We ended up sweeping them then. My friends ended up taking the tickets because they know that I would have got pissed at them if they sold them. I told them, whatever you do, don't sell these tickets. Go in honor of me. Like with whatever happens, you take the tickets, and they did.
Mhm.
Um, they said it was one of the most emotional series or playoff runs that they've ever been because that's Kachuk's first year, right?
Yep.
I mean, Matthew Kachuk was just on a tear. Like, he literally carried the team to the Stanley Cup final. And I remember, you know, I actually got home in time to watch the Vegas Golden Knights series in the Stanley Cup. And though I did get to watch it, I didn't get to enjoy it as well. I was still on medication, heavy medications, and just wasn't all really there. Still dealing with pain, recovery, rehab, and all that. Last year was the first time I got to experience the cup run. I got to go to the games. So winning in game seven was so emotional for me, because my brother passed away also the year that I went to the hospital that I had cardiac arrest. He had a bike accident and he passed away. And
Mhm.
um, he used to always ride on the back of my wheelchair. We used to always go to games together. He was my little brother. You know, sports is so big to me because throughout my life with my disability, because I also have osteogenesis imperfecta, which is a brittle bone disease, and my bones break very easily. I've had over 15 surgeries, more than 200 fractures throughout my life. So one thing that would help me cope through everything and, you know, get through all the pain, the aches and pains, and is watching sports.
Mhm.
Watching football, watching basketball, watching hockey, anything that would get my mind off of like what I'm dealing with that day. And so I grew up a big sports fanatic, and the Panthers. I lived like literally 5 minutes from the arena. I had great friends who, one of my mentors, Jaimo Greenfield in high school. He's a teacher. He got me into coaching high school football and so on and so forth. So I've gone through a lot of stuff throughout my life, and sports is one of the biggest things that's got me through that.
Mhm.
So sorry about all that, but going back to that Paul Maurice hug, as you could guys see, like all the bad stuff that happened prior to that, that hug meant so much. Like it just brought all the emotion, all the bad things that happened these last 2 3 years. Was like, man, we did this together as a community, as a fan base. And Paul Maurice said, we didn't win the cup for us. We share the cup as a community.
Mhm.
So this is our cup. All 26 and a half dirtbag fans.
26 and a half. Oh yeah, dude.
Oh man, I don't even know where to go after that story. That's so inspirational, man. And for you to still be so positive and allow sports to take over your life, really. I mean, you're
It's
it,
it's been
it's
such a
magical.
big part of my life. Although haven't been able to participate in organized sports,
Mhm.
I have had the opportunity to coach high school football. One of the biggest things when I was in high school, although I couldn't play for the team. Um, one of my mentors got me into coaching football. He asked the football coach, "Hey, can we get him involved with the team?" And little did they know that I would actually take it serious.
Mhm.
I ended up going that summer. Like he said, just be here like 7 o'clock. I was there 6 o'clock in the morning in the front door waiting. They're like, "Damn, you're ready to work." I'm like, "Let's go. Pad
Yep.
up, baby. Let's go."
Hell
What was
yeah.
it? What were you doing with the team? And where? What team was it?
So I coached Western High School.
Mhm.
That's your high
Uh,
school, right?
Western High School, Western Wildcats. So I coached from 2004 through 2007. Our coach back then was Doug Dutton.
Mhm.
Um, we won 2 district titles, and the one of the years that we ended up winning a district title, we lost to St. Thomas by 1 point.
I remember that.
and they ended up winning the state championship that year. So we had a one heck of a run that year. It was actually the year that the movie Friday Night Lights came out, and
Generational movie.
Classic.
one of the classics, right?
Yeah.
So Jason Taylor ended up inviting us to go see the movie premiere, right? Us and Plantation, and it was the night before we played St. Thomas, and that's the night we almost lost, or that we did lose by 1 point.
Yeah.
But we ended up going on a 5-game winning streak, won district, won our first playoff game. We did lose second round, but goes to tell you, like, we bought in, because from that moment on, we believed that we could do anything, even though Western was never known to be a big powerhouse school, right? There's just a little school like down in Davie,
Like in the cut.
in the cut. Like we had no athletes, so it
No, like
was
dead ass. Like they had like three
literally.
like really
You
good
could literally
athletes.
put me at running back, and I'd probably get more yards than the running back is.
Just
So
make sure you got a full battery.
hey, with solar power, shit, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
we're
run out
good,
of batteries
baby.
now.
Baby.
Throw the
I'm on
solar
your
on,
ass,
on
boy.
the back
Taking
end.
Friday Night Lights to a
Watch
new
out,
meaning.
Tyreek Hill.
Damn,
It's funny
dude.
you brought up
Tyreek's
your
got
high
his own
school.
race he's trying to run right now.
One of our followers, when we announced that we were having you on tonight, he reached out. He said, dude, I went to high school with him at Western, and like he said, you went through something in high school and they raised a bunch of money for you to have a surgery.
Bro,
And
that
he
is
was like,
crazy.
dude, that's a hockey fan to his core. That's an amazing dude.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, because I actually I ended up falling down the stairs, and then I was in the hospital. I broke 2 femurs, and like I ended up showing up a week later with 2 casts on, and they're like, "Dude, what's this guy doing back in the field? Like, what is he doing?" I'm like, "Dude, like I love football. I love sports so much. Like I don't want to like miss anything, and I wanted to be there and inspire the guys. Like no matter what injury you have, fight through it. You can do anything you want to if you put your mind to it." And it's kind of what the Panthers did this year, right? Look at what
Yeah.
Kachuk. I mean, the injuries have been revealed. Kachuk had like a muscle torn off of his hip,
Hip adductor, yeah.
right, and a groin injury, and then here you have Reinhardt, who scored 4 goals yesterday. 4 goals, had a second-degree MCL sprain.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the injury culture in NHL is vastly different.
They're not fucking normal.
That's
No.
vastly different than any other sport that's even any other professional sport
It's
that's out there.
insane.
Yeah,
It's insane.
and I'm not bringing any other sport down or any other athlete down who's playing through injury, but it's just a different level. Like it's not uncommon to see a player skating on a torn ACL, MCL. And even Barkov, he had the laceration. Did you see the laceration across his hand?
So that's funny. The other day I posted a video of when we went to go to the airport and we greeted the team.
Mhm.
We literally saw him when he waved to us, a big gash on his wrist, on his arm, and his hand.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap. And of course, he revealed yesterday he had like stitches. He ended up gashing in game 1.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. Sometimes a lot of the fan base, is like, oh, why isn't this player doing well? Well, I mean, they're playing through something, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're playing 82 games a year. And then once the playoff hits, it's a different animal. Like the forechecking, the back checking, the speed of the game is so much more that when they get injured, you sometimes don't even notice it. And and especially the block shots, like that's crazy. Like I don't know who the hell in the right mind would go in front of a puck and take the shot.
That is
Like,
crazy.
Yeah, happily.
That
do it.
actually brings me to a good question for the boys here. Would you rather
Yeah.
take a hockey puck to the back of the calf or a baseball to the ribs?
Like a comeback from if I were to
No,
pitch?
like a pitch, like a 100 miles per hour pitch to the ribs, or a slap shot to the fucking back of the calf.
Pitch to
take
the
my
rib.
leg out. Take my leg out.
I'm going with the ribs.
I've
I'm
taken.
convinced to the ribs.
I've done the
You're
baseball one.
insane.
Let's just keep going with that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. I've had a ball hit me in the ribs before. That shit knocks. Not only does it hurt your ribs, but that knocks the wind out of you. Like
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
it's insane. Either or. I mean, you're still screwed. So,
Yeah, that's a tough. That's a double edged sword there.
no, for sure.
But I would have to go with the calf.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not taking anything to the ribs, bro. A
Yeah.
cracked rib, you could puncture your lung. Like there's so many things that can happen. But
I
so
mean,
Ghost is actually basically a doctor, and
Basically.
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 and I would just like your analysis on your hip abductor being ripped off the bone. Like I don't know what that even means.
It really wasn't a torn. It wasn't really a torn muscle. It was actually it's the tendon on the hip adductor. It actually tore off of the bone. You know, your tendons connect bones together, so it tore
Right.
off of the bone. And so it really wasn't. He didn't strain it. He didn't tear his adductor muscle, but it was actually just torn off the bone. And I mean, it's pretty freaking wild that he was able to skate on that because
Dude.
you know you're very quad dominant, you're very hip
Yeah, straight
dominant when you're
quads.
skating, and you know you can get by stabilizing a knee on skates. You can get by with that stuff because there's really not that much like bend in the knee. But when you get into the hips, I mean, like that's insane that he skated with that. It's really insane. You
That's
know,
crazy,
he could get
Because-
surgery on that. Like he could get that reattached.
right? And if he does, he's gonna have to do it soon because I do know he wants to play for the Olympics this
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah, he'll
So-
definitely have to get surgery on that because what I read and what I saw on Twitter, it did detach from the bone. So whether that's partial or complete, it was probably
Now-
partial. But
Now that's different from what Dak Prescott had, right? Because Dak
What
tore
did Dak
his
have?
hamstring. I
Oh,
believe
yeah,
he tore
that's
his hamstring off the bone too. So
yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah, that's the whole muscle.
he had so that's like so you can either like strain your hamstring, but they're talking about the tendon attachments. So where the insertion point is for the tendon, that's what's tearing, and that's terrible. Like for example, if you have an ACL tear, you can have an ACL rupture, or you can have it at the insertion point when it actually tears off of the heel. You know, like the Achilles tendon rupture is like you take an axe and you cut the tendon in half. But when you get it torn off the bone, for an Achilles, I know that they have new surgeries where you actually drill it back into the heel itself, you know, the heel bone itself. So you know they
That
could.
sounds brutal.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not like a muscle. It's not like a muscle tear or a muscle strain, like where you just strain your quad or your bicep. It's actually at the insertion point where it attaches to the bone. So that's tough because you know
Sheesh.
it's
What
it's
a
an
dog.
it's an easy attachment, like a surgery wise. Like there's not a ton of recovery. You know, you can drill it right into the bone, but I would have to know more about the actual injury itself. But you know, it's a little better than actually just tearing the muscle itself.
that's
Jeez
insane
Louise.
either way. I mean, for him to to even skate half the speed,
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy.
He was on some cortisone for sure.
Yeah, mad respect to hockey players.
Yeah.
Even 2 years ago, I believe Ekblad had 2 broken foots and I think it was like 2 shoulder separations.
Mhm.
Like, what the
And
hell?
like I said, like knee down, it's okay in skates. Like I played hockey. Like I got my sticks, I got my skates. I should start skating around here for one of the podcasts. But you know, like
There we
knee
go.
down, you're pretty stable. But that's crazy. It's absurd that he played with that hip injury.
And
on
these
that
guys
le-
are skating
that
at the
level-
highest level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
especially going
Stopping-
against Draisaitl, McDavid.
oh, just getting wrecked.
It's fun if you watch like a beer league. Like we go play in a beer league. Like there's some good players that are in the beer league. There's some guys that play in college, like D2 players, D3 hockey players. So like some decent players, and you know they're in their 20s, 30s, and it looks nothing like an NHL game.
No.
And they're good, like they're good players. Like and like, dude, it's just like
Watching beer league
just skating
games
around.
are freaking awesome.
They really are.
It's a
like
different
if
level.
you guys got a chance to go out to like the new War Memorial Iceplex, like go watch a beer league game there. It's so much fun. So much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
just
back in the day, Ceaz, I used to go to JP Mulligan's.
Dude, that's like literally right down the street from me. Right down
nice.
Flamingo,
Yeah,
right?
so there's this bar, right, that's
Yeah.
attached to the Pines Ice Arena, and
Yeah.
you can actually watch the hockey from the bar.
they
Yeah.
got one here. They got one where I live.
Dude,
too.
that's sick.
It's awesome.
Dude, it was so sick.
Yeah, they got
like,
one
so
over
sick.
here.
And Flanagan, the high school I went to, we were nasty at hockey.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
think
we
Western had a hockey team then. If they did, it was probably roller hockey.
and I graduated same year as Ceaz, so I don't know if you remember Ceaz, but we won a couple state titles.
I wasn't really into hockey that much back then.
Mhm.
I mean, I was a big Florida Panther fan, but just recently I've become like more overall aware of like the hockey around here in South Florida too. So, and Coral Springs has actually got a new team coming up too that just they just founded. So that's pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, actually. I
So
feel like
do,
the hockey community is definitely growing down here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Want
I
to
got yeah, go Bob.
I just want to say this real quick. Today's actually my dad's 61st birthday. So
Hey, let's go,
happy
Pop.
happy
Hey,
birthday, pops.
happy birthday!
Happy
Hell yeah.
birthday.
So
Bobby Senior.
Yeah,
Bobby
hell yeah.
Oh, hold
Senior.
on. Somebody in the chat wants to know if Big C's is a Tua fan.
ooh, did they
You're allowed to
really
be
have to?
honest on this show, I
Did
promise.
they have to ask that question?
They all, dude. It's so funny. Like the thing on Dolphins Twitter is like when there's something
Hold on.
completely unrelated.
Can I hide that star behind me? Is that better? Is that better? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm a big Tua fan actually. And on the football aspects, my dad was actually a big Alabama fan. He loved Alabama.
Yeah.
He would always watch Alabama before he passed, and I hated Alabama. So me and my brother's a UM fan. I'm an FSU fan. So we
Sorry
have
to
our
hear.
little rivalry there. Uh, but my dad was a big Alabama fan, and I love the way Tua played. I just think he just needs to have like Dak Prescott. If he has the offensive line to protect him,
Mhm.
he can be so damn good because he's
Yeah.
so accurate, right?
Yeah. That's
But
his
when you
thing.
don't have time to pass the ball, you're not going to have enough time to read the coverages, and it all starts with the fronts. Like to build a championship team, and look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Their defensive line is nasty,
Oh yeah.
right? Look at their offensive line too. They built around Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Patrick Mahomes is one hell of a quarterback, one of the best. But if he doesn't have that offensive line, he doesn't do the things that he does, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And we all seen what happened with Tua when he gets hurt. And the concussions are an issue, and it's definitely scary. But we see when he gets the protection how good he can be, right?
Yeah.
We do see that. Yeah. Yeah. And
And by the way, the Cowboys are the NFC Dolphins.
Yeah.
there you go. That's the
I was gonna say I have a good friend of mine. His name is Cameron. He's a big Dolphin fan. So I was like, you can't give me shit because I at least got to watch a Super Bowl.
yeah.
Have you
Fair.
guys?
Fair.
That was against the Steelers, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's what we always kind of say. That's like the joke in the community is like the Dolphins are like the AFC Cowboys, and it was kind of funny when they played in 2023 when the Cowboys came to on Christmas. We're like,
don't
oh
remind
man,
me.
like both teams were over 500. Both teams struggle to beat teams over 500. We're like, someone's got to get like a victory.
Bro,
Bro, don't get me started because I swear to God, our backup left tackle came in on the one play where Tony Pollard fumbled,
Mhm.
and he literally missed the damn block.
Oh,
I was screaming at the TV, bro. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Literally, it was who the heck was it? Damn, he's playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars now.
Pogba?
Mm,
you
is it?
taking a you talking to our defensive tackle or our
No,
DN?
our left tackle.
Oh,
He was
okay.
the swing tackle. I think Tyron Smith got hurt,
Mhm.
and they put him at tackle, and he just literally whiffed. And I think one of your defensive ends just like literally wasn't touched.
Probably was
And
Chubb at that time or
Was it
Phillips.
was it at an Alabama tackle?
I don't know. Uh, Chuba Doga. Chuba Doga. There we go. I knew I. So Chuba Doga
never
came
got that.
in, and he
Great name.
literally missed that defensive end. And of course, Tony Pollard, right there, boom, hit right, fumbled right at the 1 yard line. That literally gave the
That's
game away.
right. That's right. I remember that. That was at the 1 yard line. We got a
You
lot
see
of
how you don't remember shit like this when you win?
yeah.
Right?
That's
Winning,
true.
I'm sorry, when you lose, you remember every little bit of it,
That's
right?
true, man.
winning solves everything. But Ceaz, I want to steer it back.
Yeah,
I want to steer it back to hockey because we even talked before. The guys in the group chat were like, "This is gonna be the hockey podcast today." So
let's
I
go.
want to touch more on your run with Biz. Has he
Yeah,
like reached out personally to you and had
yeah.
conversations with you? And
So it's crazy. You could probably put it up on X here. I believe there's a video where he did come. I don't know if you guys saw the game where the Florida Panthers ended up losing that 3-0
Mhm.
lead.
Yeah.
Well, we were winning 3-0. We ended up going to the Coors Light Suite area where all the music is playing and everything.
Mhm.
I literally come back in my seat, and who the hell is sitting in my seat?
Yeah, are you serious?
Biz fucking nasty. Oh, I was
Motherfucker.
like, this son of a bitch. So but he was a great guy. He literally sat down next to me. We watched the whole second period,
Oh, nice,
and
dude.
after that, I'm like, no, you got to go, man. You got to go. There's no way you're good. And we ended up losing that game. So I banned him from coming to my spot anymore. And
Good
you
call.
know, history shows that we ended up winning. So
Yeah.
no, but he's an amazing guy, great guy. For them to even have me on the podcast, the Chicklet Podcast. For those of you, go check it out. I believe it's 546 episode, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, they had me on there. It's crazy because in one of the games, I believe it was game 3. No, wait, it was game 4 of the Toronto series.
Mhm.
I met Mrs. Kachuk in the suite level.
Mhm.
And I was just, minding my own business, hanging out with everybody, listening to music while in the intermission. She came up to me. She's like, "You're Big C's. My family loves you on Spin Chicklets." Dude, I was going crazy. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
Matthew Kachuk knows who Big C's is.
That's so sick.
I think at
And,
this point, most of the
dude,
players probably know who you are.
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. And she's like, can I take a picture with you? I'm like, can I take a picture with you?
Be
It was,
cool. Be cool.
dude, it's been insane. Like, but not just that, but like the overwhelming support that I've gotten in the arena. Like everywhere I go, people are asking, "Let me take a picture with you, Ceaz. Let me take a picture." I did not think this was gonna blow up. It all started from like a little video where he was making fun of our 26 and our 27 fans, and Toronto Maple Leaf fans started posting like comments on
Mhm.
there. Don't you mean 26 and a half? Like because I'm short, or like.
Don't worry, I get those too, C's.
It's okay.
I get those jokes too, C's. Those motherfuckers.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me. I fucking laugh. I think one of the funniest comments that I saw was like, guys, Caesar's not really in a wheelchair. I saw him get up and walk in the concession stand, and I was like, I was fucking
That's
dying.
actually fucking. That's actually hysterical. I
I
saw
was
him get
like,
up.
dude, that is
Oh my
fucking
god.
great.
I
But
saw him
dude,
get
out
up.
of all the fucking bullshit that you've dealt with in your life, like
Like literally, like
embrace.
all the medical shit that I've dealt with, like whatever people say to me, just like literally drops off my shoulder. And I kind of relate to kind of Brad Marchand because I think he was talking about it too. And what an acquisition that Bill Zito got there, right?
That's our
I mean, who
5'9"
would
king
have
right
ever
there.
fucking thought Brad motherfucking Marchand on the Florida Panthers? The
And
guy
that's
that I fucking hated.
yeah.
Literally, I hated playing him every
Dude,
time we played
hated
Boston.
him, Bobby. Hated him.
Dude, like he was like at last 2 years ago. No, wait, last year
Mhm.
against Boston when Bennett punched him, and kind of sucker punched him in the face.
Mhm.
Like, dude, we hated Marchand because Marchand was that kind of player. And he even admitted after that, he goes, I've been on the other side of it, so I kind of know how it is, right?
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I also help host the Cats and Rats podcast. So any hockey fans, if you guys are interested, definitely go check them out.
Ride on him, baby.
So during the trade deadline, we did a live, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be great if we got Brad Marchand? Like literally 5 minutes before the trade happened. And
Oh, that's so sick.
my friend, like literally,
Gosh.
we were live, and then he's like, Brad Marchand to the Florida Panthers. I'm like, no fucking way. Like, I couldn't believe it because I literally just talked about it
Yeah.
because Brad Marchand and Bennett played so amazing in Four Nations, right? For Team
Mhm.
Canada. They were just buzzing all over the ice against Team USA. And I was like, man, that would be great to have them all in the same team. And little did we know that it would actually happen,
And that was just in March too. That was like right at the deadline.
right? And the addition of Seth Jones,
Mhm.
it's just insane.
Dude, at the
But
elbow room today, they were going, "Thank you, Blackhawks."
thank you, Boston. And dude, it was insane. It was insane, man. But yeah, going back to like what the whole busy biz,
Yeah.
just I couldn't thank him enough. Spitting Chicklets, Ryan Whitney, Keith Yandel, those guys having me on and just, being able to share my story because Spitting Chicklets is one of the biggest hockey podcasts in the
Probably
world.
the biggest. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is like I've had Sam Bennett's family come up to me saying, "You're the biggest news in Canada." What?
Yeah.
Like everybody fucking knows you, Ceaz.
Yeah.
My family loves you, dude. How crazy is that? Like the Panthers are talking about it in the locker rooms. It's been, man, it's been a one hell of a run, and to be back to back Stanley Cup champions. I don't know if you guys saw the video last night. I just started bawling, man.
Hmm.
It was just so emotional, just winning 2 times in a row and just, being able to share with everybody here in the community, all 26 and a half of us,
Oh,
it's no better feeling, right? And you
dude, it's
can
the
honestly
best.
call us a dynasty now because we are them motherfuckers.
Bro, and like, do you guys think that hockey is the hardest sport to go back to back?
It hockey's definitely, as far as competitiveness goes, like the worst team will still like be close to 500. Like it's
It's
very, very, very difficult. It's so
it
competitive in
is.
hockey.
It's
Just the
hot.
game
I think
itself.
the Stanley Cup in general is one of the hardest sports, one of the hardest trophies to win in
Yeah.
general. Just the way the physicality is through every single game.
Hmm.
Because you're going 7 games. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really compare it to basketball. You can't really compare it to football. It's just a whole nother animal. And if you haven't been to a game, you have to go to a playoff game.
Yeah.
You have. It's totally different than a regular season, by far.
You
And
you
don't
brought up
hold on. The regular season games are fun too, though.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. They are. They're fun too. But if you want to get into the sport and if you go to a playoff hockey game, you're hooked.
Yeah.
You're hooked,
it looks sick from the couch. Like just looking at all the fan cams and all that stuff, dude, it was nuts.
right?
But
And
you
it,
you talked about your reaction last night. I thought it was cool. Actually, Biz quote tweeted that video of you crying and was like, "Congrats, Ceaz, enjoy your victory." I wanted to play your little reaction real quick.
Can't believe 2 years in a row.
My boy is in there.
This is unbelievable. Incredible moment. This is emotional.
Let's
There
go,
we
Dude,
go.
that's a crazy feeling, right?
man, it just brings back so much, like all this the bad shit that happened in the past.
Hmm.
Just feeling my brother's presence in the moment too,
Nice.
because I know he would be right there with me, just celebrating together, and for all the fans out there, all South Florida fans, because Florida hockey for the longest time has been shit. We were literally the bottom of the barrel. Nobody like if they you'd say Florida Panther hockey, they'd be like, "You mean the team that they're going to sell and move?"
No,
We've had
seriously, it
that
was
for
bad.
how many years have we had that for? Like 20 plus years. And here comes Benny Viola, bought the team and said, "You know what? We're not moving. We're going to change the logo. We're going to change the attitude. We're going to change the culture." And I bring a good example here. The Washington Commanders. What happened? They change ownerships.
Yep.
Boom. The culture changes. The attitude changes. the way I mean, if you guys have a chance to go check out the practice facility for Florida, unbelievable. The War Memorial, like
Mhm.
Bar Down did a little special this weekend from Jesse Pollock. He's a big hockey guy. He said it is one of the nicest hockey facilities he's ever been to, hands down.
Mhm.
That goes to tell you, even better than the ones in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because you bring up the Washington Commanders and like that was people they try people. So this thing that Dolphins fans do sometimes is they try to downplay the success of other teams if they outpace the Dolphins, even though they've been rebuilding way longer than like the Reds or the Commanders. Like they did it honestly, in my opinion. Dan Quinn comes in and you do it in 1 year. Like you have a great draft class, you pick the right quarterback, you go through all these different things, you change the culture, and it's like the NFC East is not a cakewalk.
No,
You know
no,
what I
and
mean?
they
It's one
were
of the
like
hardest divisions in
literally
football. You take the
they
Giants
were
out of it, but
they
still,
were close to beating the Eagles. I
yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
they beat the Eagles.
They did
Who
beat the Eagles
knows?
one time.
They might be in the Super Bowl, right?
yeah, yeah. Jane Daniels is going to be great for years to come, and it's like you change the culture, and I think that's what the Dolphins have so desperately been missing for years. And you know what I don't like is you see all the success that some of these South Florida teams have. And I know hockey is just a different culture than other sports. Like the sport culture matters too. Like
Right.
NBA culture is different than NHL culture, which is different than NFL culture, and the way the players, just the hockey guys, they can put on a t-shirt, shorts, and
You wouldn't even recognize them,
their latest Monarchs. One, you wouldn't even recognize them because
right?
hockey players don't hit the weight room. And number two, it's
Unless you're
like
Gustav
it's
Forsling.
not
I
a
mean,
flashy
that
lifestyle.
guy's pretty ripped,
It's not a flashy lifestyle.
Fair.
right?
It's just not. And so I think that does play into it. But like you see all the success, and I don't buy into like, oh, it's the Miami culture, and it's hard to stay focused. It's like bullshit, man. And
Look at what the Florida Panthers have done. I
yeah,
mean, they're living the same nightlife as every other team in South Florida, right?
yeah,
You
exactly.
can't tell me that they can't do it. Miami Heat have won how many championships down there?
Yep.
Yep.
So,
And I got news for you. Hockey guys party way harder than any other fucking sport combined.
Yeah.
bro, dude, where do you guys think the players are going to tonight? I know last year they went to Live, they went to everywhere down in Miami. Like they were just partying it up with the fans.
Yeah.
Dude, my favorite shot of the day was freaking Marchand. He was on that golf cart. He had a cigar, a shot of liquor,
Bro.
a Corona under his arm, and a beer in his hand, and coffee squeezed in between the beer over here. And so I said, "Oh my god, my stomach hurts just looking at it." It's like, holy shit, man, that was
So
awesome.
classic.
He's
So
37 years old too. He's pulling that.
Hey, what's wrong with 37?
Nothing's wrong with 37.
Okay.
Dude, he had every possible like vice you could think of in his hands at the same time. It's like, dude, this guy's living.
No,
it's so funny that
incredible.
it's so funny that Ceaz was talking like how emotional he got. So I'm sitting on the couch and I'm watching it like literally locked in by myself. I'm watching the celebration and I had like tears down my face. My wife looks at me and says, "What the fuck are you crying for?"
Crying what?
There's no
I was like,
crying.
dude, I was like, this is like special for it's more for the community than it's just for the team,
Mhm.
man. Like the city's so vibrant when you have a winner in the city, man. It's just such a special, special, special feeling that you don't get every year. And the fact that we get it 2 years in a row is just like so iconic, man. It's like you really have to embrace the situation because it may never happen again. Like this does not happen in sports.
No,
Mhm.
and I think there's only 3 NHL teams that went 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals: the Florida Panthers, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the New York Islanders. So I mean, that's insane. So the Florida Panthers are in some good company now. So
And poor Canada, right? Because Florida as a state has dominated since 22.
Yeah, like 6 straight
oh,
years.
6 straight years Stanley
I'm
Wow.
Cup.
sorry, 6 straight years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, like that, you know how crazy that is? Like Florida is dominating hockey.
Mhm.
Bro,
It's
it's
also
Like
crazy
insane.
never in
too.
a million years would you think this.
Dude,
And
it
you
was
know what's
Tampa,
scary,
Tampa, then Florida, Florida, Florida. 3 straight for both of
That
them.
shit is crazy.
dude? And you know what's crazy? Like they have a chance to do it again next year because they have most of their guys coming back. If they sign Bennett and Marchand,
8 more years.
dude.
8 more years.
Yes, bro. Benny was eating it up. I
Yeah,
honestly
he
think he's
was.
gonna sign. I think he's gonna sign 8 years, $8 million. And who knows what Marchand does. I know he's been underpaid in Boston, so I wouldn't be mad if he goes out and gets his money because that man deserves it. He's a
Mhm.
first ballot Hall of Fame, right?
Fair.
And he's been underpaid for the longest time, and the man deserves it. If he can go get a bag, go ahead. You thank you for your services here in Florida. You'll always be remembered a legend here, and wherever he goes, I'm still gonna have that respect for him.
You know it's so crazy. So we're watching last night. They go to interview Marshy. I'm like, dude, the dude just won the Stanley Cup. And the first, like, not the first question, but the girl goes, "So are you gonna stay?" Like, bro, that's what you're asking him right now.
Bro,
They love
we
that
get
shit
that on
though.
our podcast so many times. Like so many times we're like, guys, can you just like enjoy the damn fucking moment? Like free agency is gonna happen 2 weeks from now. Can we just worry about that then?
The
Let
dude
Bill
hasn't won
Zito,
since 2011, bro. That's a
dude,
huge
it's
gap.
insane. Let him enjoy it. Like, why do you got to bring those contract talks? It's insanity. I don't understand that.
I think it's like the beat reporters, they want to be the first on the, like, oh my god, he broke it,
Yeah.
he broke it to me, and I
Yeah,
get that, but there's a time and place. I'm sorry,
yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally agree,
dude.
It's
So
all
how'd you enjoy the elbow room today?
bro. When I tell you, like I haven't slept since yesterday night. So I literally just got home and then hopped on with you guys. So I'm like literally team no sleep. So we ended up going to Fat Cats after watching one of our boys, and he has a band that we just partied there. And then after I came home for about an hour, and then my friend texts me. She's like, "You want to go to Elbow Room?" I'm like, "Done." So she ended up picking me up, and we ended up just sitting out there, hanging out, chilling, and it was so cool. Um, I think Reinhardt and Kachuk, they noticed me and they're like, "Big C's." And I was like, "Oh shit." And I was like pointing back at him, "Let's go." And he's like, "Big C's, let's go." And then they get the champagne, they start showering me. And then we got the crowd chanting, "Caesar, Caesar, Caesar." Dude, it was fucking unbelievable.
That's so sick, man.
It was amazing. Man, just an incredible journey. Just for those guys to recognize me and for me to be able to
Yeah.
represent the fan base because Florida fan base is big. It's large. It's bigger than people think. And we deserve this because for so many years we've been the trash talk of the NHL. Well, not no more because we're 2 times Stanley Cup champions.
yo.
And Baldy was out there. He was red faced. He was
Dude,
hammered
Dude,
by 8:30 in the morning, raging
Baldy's
out
such
dude,
a
there,
boy.
taking
He's such
like
a dude.
selfies of himself. Dude, it
dude,
was
I seen a
hysterical.
picture when he was taking some IV. Is he all right? Is he?
I don't know, man. He's been out there.
Nah, that's just so he can keep going. Cease.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
dude, what's
maintenance.
crazy too about Reinhardt recognizing you, dude? This guy was in the Stanley Cup championship last night, scored 4 goals.
4 goals,
Now he's
bro.
pouring
Yeah.
champagne on your
Four
head,
goals,
dog.
dude. And he's sitting there just pointing at me. He's like, "Big C's." And then here comes Nate Schmidt with his fucking headband. He looks like Mike, what's his name? Mike Miller. I was like, dude, this guy's a dog. I was like, "Let's go, Schmidt." And he goes, "Big C's." He gave me the biggest hug, bro. It
Out of
was,
all people.
dude, it was it was epic. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's just bombarding him and shit. Dude, this is unbelievable. I just wanted to enjoy the moment. I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go to Elbow Room. I'm gonna be there like most of the day, hang out with the crowd, take as many pictures with the fans because they deserve it, right?
Mhm.
This is
Yeah,
their cup as well,
Yeah.
so it's an awesome time to be a Florida Panther fan.
Yeah, Smitty
you
was
know
out
what,
there in the mix for sure. He
bro?
was out there in the
Schmitty
crowd,
must have
dog.
done like 30 shotguns.
Dude, he
Like the
was
dude's a
committed
machine.
today.
Hey, Paul Maurice did say some of us do praying and some of us do some weird shotguns. So I mean,
Yeah. Dude, like Paul Maurice has to be like the
oh,
dopest coach in all of sports right now.
he's a fucking legend. He's a legend in my book. Like
Yeah.
that like for me to like one day sit down one on one with him, that's like one of my goals is just to get a one on one conversation with him on my podcast
Mhm.
would be fucking epic because just I listened to him and Peter DeBoer talk about their hockey history, like how they became coaches and stuff, and you know they're really genuine guys. They're family first, and guys that really care about each other. And the one thing that he does is he lets the guys be themselves. And that's something that Bob really enjoys. And he said it last night. He goes, I came into this organization. At first, it was a little shaky. And here comes Maurice. Maurice says, you do you, whatever you have to do. If you have to do ballet, I don't give a shit as long as you stop the puck, right?
Mhm.
And that just gives Bob the confidence to prepare for the game. And that's something a lot of coaches, I think, tend to like, if it's not my way, get out, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Paul Maurice is a player's coach. But not only is he a player's coach, he's a hard nosed coach. So he's not going to sit there and just let you do what you want either. So I think, and just having the right kind of guys, having Chucky, Bennett, Ekblad, Barkov, all these players, just they all bought in, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that they built, like the culture. And Brad Marchand even said it. He's like, when I came into this team, I was a little hesitant at first, but then they just welcomed me, and it was just like, dude, it was like I gained 10 years of life, and it showed because he was literally one of the best players out there,
And it's cool
Bro was
because
flying
because
on the
right?
ice.
the big thing too is when you come in as a new coach, and I think it goes back to hockey culture too, and it's a little different than other sports, but like the egos really do leave the room, and it's like when you get a room full of guys that want to be led, and you have a coach that wants to lead and can lead in the way that we talked about, and let them be themselves, and everyone everyone's
I
differences,
mean,
everyone's strengths,
could
weaknesses,
you
and
see a coach letting a guy go to Dairy Queen or buy a freaking Blizzard and hang out with the guys and let them post it on social media? Like, there's so many coaches out there that are so like ego
yeah.
maniacs that don't really let players do that shit. And I think we live in a generation where we kind of like gotta like learn to adapt to it, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
And I think one of the biggest things, because a lot of people are like, well, why didn't he win those 25 years that he played? I think one of the things that he learned is he took a half a year off when he was let go by Winnipeg. And he took some time to himself with his family, and he saw the Florida Panthers, and he's like, you know what? Maybe I need to change things a little bit different. Maybe I
Mhm.
need to do things a little bit different. So, it's it's not always a bad thing to change, right? Change to the culture, change, adapt to like the way things are done nowadays, because
Yeah.
it's not like what it used to be, right?
No, I agree. And if you hear Maurice mic'd up, there is nothing better.
It's amazing, amazing. I could sit there and watch all day of Paul Maurice mic'd up.
Like unbelievable. And his speeches are like the dude just commands respect without having to actually ask for it. Like it's just like it's crazy. His energy is nuts.
It
I was
really is.
I seen Bill Zito on the Pat McAfee show today, and I was like super impressed. Like, dude, he deserves a lot of credit too,
Yes,
man. Like he was saying,
yes,
like
100%.
in his interview, he was like, "Look, this is we want this to be a destination place, and not just because of the obvious stuff." And this is makes me think of the Dolphins. Like, of course you want to live here, of course you want to be at the beach, of course you want the state, but like we're gonna be a destination because of the culture. Like players are gonna want to be a part of what we build. And he was like, "In every year we've wanted to get better, and we've gotten better, and the
You're
players
right.
want to get better, and the players want to come here." And I was like, "Man, that's awesome. A destination for the culture." Not because
And
it's South Florida or no state taxes. You want to be on this damn team.
exactly. And you know what's crazy? Because we used to be a team where players used to come here to retire. Like we used to get players when they were like 2 or 3 years
Preaching to the
young,
choir, pal. You're
right?
preaching to the fucking choir with Dolphins fans.
I
We
Bro,
knew it was
know.
coming.
We
I
know,
know,
bro.
I know, I know, I know. So it's crazy because now the Panthers are getting players that are like in their prime wanting to play here. And that's something that they've never had to happen, bro.
Mhm.
Like hearing Mitch Marneau wants to potentially come to Florida. Like
Like
who would have
what?
ever thought, right? Now, granted,
It's
I don't want him
crazy.
here. Um,
We got a question from the chat speaking about guys wanting to come to Florida. What if
No way.
McDavid? What if McDavid pulls a KD and joins the Panthers when his contract is up?
That's not even that'll never
look,
happen in a million
he's
years.
got one more year left in his contract. The only way that happens if they don't sign Bennett and Marchand,
Mhm.
but they're gonna sign one of those guys. I don't see that happening, and I don't think his ego would like to come to Florida.
Mhm.
He likes to
Agreed.
be the face of the
Dude, y'all see his meltdown in the locker room, which it was warranted and it wasn't nothing wrong with it. So I don't want it to sound like it's disrespectful, but did you
Right.
see
And
him
we
going
get
off on
and
the team?
it's like Christmas come early, bro. We get it once a year.
My
right.
boy was going off in the locker room.
And I understand that he kind of like punched or he kind of like went after his coach, kind of like saying that they didn't really change anything. It was like us doing the same thing, and we were just hitting a wall like over and over and over again, and nothing was changed. So that's I
Again,
don't know.
preaching to the choir. This is a sensitive subject.
The Chiclet guy actually was talking today about like no one ever assumed it's kind of like the Lucas situation. No one ever thought it was possible this guy could be anywhere else. But like after hearing like what you just said about the coach thing, like this is considered the best player in hockey and he's just wasting his career away. They
Yeah.
said this might be the offseason where like he needs to say like I don't want to be here and they need to be able to trade him because losing him and letting him walk next offseason would be unforgivable.
And that could very well happen. It
Yeah.
happened with Nico Ratinen, right? That whole situation with Colorado. I mean, ultimately they ended up trading him, but the Carolina Hurricanes ended up trading him to Dallas.
Yeah.
So, that whole situation there. It's just it's a win now league. Like with the Mitch Marneau, does he want to win a championship or does he want to get paid? So it all depends on the mindset of the player. And if McDavid does want to win a championship, he'll be like, you know what? I don't need that $10 million. I'll take 9.5, 8 million
Mhm.
and go to Florida or Tampa,
Florida.
right? Or who knows? Maybe even New York Rangers, because I know the Rangers got a lot of money under the cap next year. So if they do it the right way, maybe he goes somewhere else.
Well, let me
You know
get you on
what?
record real quick.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Let me get you on record real quick. Would you let those guys walk if it meant McDavid was a Florida Panther?
No, just because I know McDavid is one of the best players, and people are probably like going crazy right now. Like, what the hell, Caesar? He's like the best player in the league. How the hell, dude? We got Sasha Barkov. Are you gonna literally take his captaincy
Mhm.
to have McDavid on the team? McDavid's gonna want to be the captain. He's gonna be he's gonna want to be the face of the franchise, even if he takes less money. I don't see that happening, and it's just I don't know. It's one of those things where I do see him maybe potentially Vegas. Vegas has a really good team. John Eichel,
Dog.
dog, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So maybe they can get a McDavid with Eichel. I mean, because they're really close. I thought that they might have been facing the Florida Panthers this year because I
Yeah.
picked
Yeah.
them to be going with Florida. But I think the experience too that Edmonton had them winning against Dallas and against LA and all those other teams here.
Mhm.
But I mean, you never know. You never know what McDavid's thinking. And who knows? Maybe he's tired of losing and he's going to be like, you know what? I'll take less money to go somewhere else to win.
Yeah, as far as the argument about coming to Florida, like sometimes you need some Indians to go with your Chiefs. So like while it always sounds good to go grab a big three or whatever, like structurally you might be better off keeping it with the culture, keeping the guys that are bought in. Sometimes that doesn't work out. You can really
Right?
The
overdue.
grass ain't always greener, brother.
And that's a great example because look at Bennett. Bennett doesn't score a ton of points during the regular season, but when the playoffs hit, he's a dog,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna leave no meat on that bone, and that's something a lot of these fans are like, I don't want to pay Bennett $8 million. You know, he doesn't get that many points a year. Well, Bennett just won MVP of the freaking playoffs. Like, how are you not gonna want to pay that guy who puts up numbers in the playoffs? Because ultimately, what are you playing for? The Stanley Cup. He
Yep.
produces every single year in the playoffs. Go look at his numbers in the playoffs. Every
And
single year.
you need guys like that in sports. You need to get the regular season guys and then the guys that lock in during the
Closers,
playoffs.
baby.
It's like with the NFL, right?
You see it in the
Yeah.
NFL all the time.
Like Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Josh Allen. What happens in the playoffs? You know,
Yeah.
just players are you want players that perform in the playoffs and not in the regular season. Dak Prescott, you know, he hasn't gotten over the hump, and I'm a big Cowboy fan, but I'm also critical. I see it the way you see it, so I'm not those delusional Cowboy fans. So, um, you know, he hasn't gotten over the hump, and he deserves a lot of the blame too.
Yeah.
He's had talent around him, but he hasn't been able to get over that hump. And you want players to help you win. And ultimately, that's more important than the regular season, in my opinion.
Yeah. Very rarely do you get players that are just lights out in the regular season, lights out in the playoffs, and everyone has their role. You know, if you're the regular season guy and someone steps up in the playoffs, it's, you know, it is what it is. But I feel like the Cowboys and the Dolphins have a lot of parallel situations.
They
You know,
they call the
really do.
Cowboys the Toronto Maple Leafs
That's
of
pretty
the
funny.
NFL, right?
You just
Now
But
it's
it's so
fucked up.
true.
Now, dude, see, what I was gonna say earlier is I don't like if you watch this team in the regular season, you're like, yeah, they're good, but they're done. Their run's done. Dude,
Right?
they have that notch, dude. They have that sixth gear. They
Mhm.
fucking crank it, bro. It's just crazy, bro. Their forechecking in the playoffs is insane.
That's what I was talking about, like how different it is in the playoffs. They know how to turn it on, and I know a lot of people, a lot of sports writers picked against Florida when they were playing Tampa, right? I think they
Mm-hmm.
had like 9, 10, 12 people pick Tampa Bay over Florida, and Florida's like, nah, we're Stanley
And we
Cup
were road dogs this entire playoffs. Nobody talks
this
about that
entire
enough.
playoffs. They didn't, and I think that's another thing. Like nowadays, they don't care if they play on the road or at home. Like it's a different atmosphere. It's a different culture. Like where before, back in the old days, if you had home ice advantage, like you're ultimately guaranteed to win the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely changed. But yeah, no, they just have that mentality of like turning it on in the playoffs. They they just turn on the switch. And Paul Maurice, give credit to him because in training camp he puts them through a grind. He says, I make sure I put him through hell so I know which player, where I can put him, when I can put him, and what certain situations I can put
Mhm.
him. Because if you don't know and you're just winging it in the playoffs, that could end up hurting you, right?
Yeah, now you're
So
guessing.
now you're second guessing yourself. So at
Like
least,
switching your goalies during the Stanley Cup Finals.
right?
Jesus Christ.
No sense, dude.
Scanner.
Oh my god, it's so good, dude.
But if you look at the series, I think by game 4, it was desperation mode for the Oilers. Like I hate to say it, but like there was really no real threat from the Oilers from like a fan perspective
No,
watching the
I'll
two
tell you
teams
why,
on the
Ghost.
ice. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna tell you why. Because we stopped giving them bullshit power plays.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it wasn't close. Like even the games that the Panthers gave up, especially in the finals, like that overtime goal that the Oilers scored, like come on, dude. Like it's not like a real goal, you know, and that's not something that's going to last.
Still
all
pissing me
finals.
off though. I wanted the shutout bad.
Sure, of course,
I
but
could be
it was
okay.
never close. It was
And
never
if, I
close.
think if Bob gets the shutout, he might have won the Conn Smythe because he played unbelievable. I know a lot of people are like Bennett or Marchand,
Yeah,
but Bob literally saved us in this series.
I
There
thought
was
Bob should have
time
gotten it.
he played lights out
he
yesterday.
played unbelievable.
For sure.
There's so many times in the first quarter or in the first period, second period where he literally saved us and
He bailed us out so
he
many
bailed us out
times.
so many times. Or like those breakaways by McDavid,
Mhm.
he was right there to make the stop. And Bobby's just he's in the zone. And it's also good to have a goaltender that is confident in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's unbelievable. And like I said, just the work that they do in the off season and during training camp helps them through the playoffs, which is what makes them so dangerous.
And which is why these boys deserve a month-long bender.
Yes. Oh,
Joe's
maybe
trying to
even
convince
longer.
him for himself. He's been doing it all day.
He's like, all right, I'm gonna do it too because they get to do it.
Yeah.
And it's okay for me to do it.
Look, last night was great, guys, but month-long bender activated. Sorry, not my fault.
Clients
No,
are calling me. I'm like, sorry, bender mode. Bye.
but I kind of want to ask you guys, kind of like, it's kind of a little football question.
Sure.
With the way that football is during practices now, where the players don't practice as hard, you think that has a lot to do with the way the players play and injuries that are happening now?
If you're talking to Dolphins fans, we know far too well the injury reports. I mean, I think in
Cowboy fans here too. So
yeah, I mean, it just our injury reports it's abnormally bad every single year. Like players, they're getting vet rest, and I mean that's fine and everything, but it's the same players, whether they're performing well or not, they're all getting vet rest. Players aren't practicing. Our injury reports are like CVS receipts, and I don't know if it's a South Florida thing or what, but the last 5 years that has been the bane of every Dolphins fan's existence, and it's the offensive line, it's defensive line, it's our edge room, and it's just constant. And a lot of the injuries, some of them are like unavoidable. Like Jordan Poyer took out Jalen Phillips' knee. Like, that's not his fault. But a lot of these injuries, they like will get to a Friday, and these players will be on the injury report, and then it goes questionable, doubtful, out. We're like, how the fuck did that happen? Like what? Like Javon Holland showed up on the injury report one day, and it just said knees with an S. Like plural. And we're like, what the fuck? And then he was out for the game. We're like, what the hell happened?
He didn't play again that year.
And then Zach Sealer last year, probably one of the best Dolphins, fan favorite. Nobody can say anything bad about Sealer, but he shows up on the injury.
Once.
He shows up on the injury report. It just says I. And we're like, what the fuck are they doing at practice? Like, what is happening? And then, like, it's crazy, man.
And then you look and they're like walk through, or
exactly.
How like shells, no pads, or it's.
I don't know, man.
I really don't understand it. I'm more of like the old school culture of
2 a days,
pad them up 2 a days, like bang them, get ready. And even in the preseason, like nobody plays in the preseason anymore. And it sucks because, like, the first week of football, it's like, what the hell are we watching?
It's like a jamboree.
So many damn penalties.
Week one is such a mystery.
It's so annoying. Like, it's like offsides, false starts, or like encroachments. It's just holdings, and nobody's like really in touch there. So I don't know. It's just something that I
try to be understandable because it's like it is a double-edged sword in South Florida because like. You can say they need to be harder on the players, but reality is if you go out there and beat the shit out of those dudes in August in South Florida, like you're probably going to run a lot of people in the dirt.
Right. But they used to do it back then in the day. I mean, what happened in 1972 when you guys were undefeated?
Well, they were smoking Marlboros. They were smoking Marlboros on the sideline.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. Dude, our grandpas were different. Hey, they're coming off a first round draft pick to the Dolphins.
Dude, it was crazy back then. I remember just watching these interviews. Guys literally has a beer in his hand while doing the interviews. Like, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
Now we freak out if somebody's eating a hot dog on the sideline.
Right?
What happened to the game I love?
You had Joe Namath ripping darts on the sideline. Like,
Dude, I will
Unbelievable.
say the Dolphins are switching it up practice regime
Yeah,
wise
I was
this
gonna say
year. We're
that.
starting at 9:30 a.m. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean they are doing, the
It's
whole
a
big thing.
theory.
The whole big thing for Dolphins fans and Dolphins Twitter and all that this year is, oh, it's a culture change. And you know,
Don't
we've
worry.
heard that for
If you guys follow any Cowboy news or
yeah.
heard, Brian Schottenheimer is supposed to be changing the culture there too. So
We've heard it too. Like we've
okay,
heard it from our end. We
But
heard every year, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Like we have to see.
right?
but we do have a successful team to look up to now.
True.
It's got to
Culture,
be a little
baby.
inspirational, bro. I'm sorry, it
Yeah,
has to be.
I agree. I agree. Like if you're like a Miami Marlins fan or a team in general, if
Mhm.
you're Pat Riley, if you're you know, just any of these teams, the Dolphins owner Ross, if like look at what Benny Viola's done, like, and look at the Dolphins. They've created a whole new practice facility, new equipment. They've
They're
got all
trying,
this new,
guys.
but there's something missing there. I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
I feel like it's like that with the Cowboys, right? Like there's just something missing that maybe they're missing a Matthew Kachuk, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is weird because they've had some good players and they've had some veterans in the room, and then it's just, I also do think that like it's not a total fair comparison because of, again, just hockey culture. Like, dude,
Hmm.
we've had Jalen Ramsey come in the room, like that's a veteran presence, and now
Dog.
like
And now you guys are talking about
now he's
trading
trade
him.
now he's gonna be traded. He's like, I want out, and it's just like, how do
You
yeah,
guys like literally
you
wasted like
do
2 years of his life.
you do need a guy like that. Yeah.
I'm just
Pipe
saying,
down. See,
Damn.
pipe down.
Damn.
Pipe down.
Damn.
it's all right. You guys can
Roasting
talk
us.
shit about the Cowboys. I don't mind.
Yeah. Well, again,
You
it's the
know, I have
Cowboys are
such a
just so
soft
similar.
spot for the Cowboys. I don't even want to say anything bad because who am I?
Yeah, it's
No,
hard to.
like we both are in the same situation. Like for the longest years, we wasted Tony Romo's career. I don't know about you guys, but I love Tony Romo. I thought he was a really good quarterback, very
Mhm.
accurate.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the right players around him. And Jerry Jones is like, man, I wish I would have given him an offensive line.
Yeah.
Dude, a true underdog story. And dude, how about when he almost like he botched the field goal attempt and almost
Almost
ran
scored.
it
Don't
in?
remind
Oh,
me.
so sad.
Don't
Dude,
remind me, bro.
that could have been his Super Bowl, man.
It's the extra point, man.
Dude, that
Bro.
was, it looked so open, just hit his heel.
If Grammatica actually was like 2 pounds heavier, he would have actually got the freaking defensive end there.
Oh, Martine.
Dude, oh my
Martine.
god. Because literally a shoestring tackle and Romo was like in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I remember watching that live, dude. That was
Oh,
crazy.
I can't get that image out of my head, bro. But tough memories there.
I like Romo though. He was fun. He was fun. He was an
He is.
underdog, so it's always easy to root for people that like aren't
Yep.
supposed to be good. It's like, he's good. He was a 7th-round pick or undrafted. It's like,
Undrafted free agent, like Sean Payton went with Eastern Illinois, and he's like, don't go to Denver. Sign here. Sign here. We don't have a quarterback. Sign
Mhm.
here. Sign here. And lo and behold, he ends up, Drew Bledsoe gets hurt, and what happens? He gets the shot, and
damn,
just,
Drew Bledsoe.
oh,
You know what though? I will say, I've always supported Tony Romo unless he's announcing Dolphins versus Bills.
Loves Josh Allen.
Hey, Josh Allen.
Literally. Oh man, I wish.
Anything he does, bro. Like, and like
But-
I rank Josh Allen the top 2 quarterbacks in the league. Like top 2.
Absolutely.
but what has he done for you lately? Like he hasn't won the big game.
Yeah, but he
Right?
smokes the Dolphins. Like he plays at an MVP level every time. He could be on a
Yeah.
terrible streak, and like Josh Allen has gone on bad runs where he's like 150 yards, 50%
Always
completion.
versus the Jets, bro. He always
And
plays
then-
like shit versus the fucking
And
Jets.
then
Yes, dude.
he comes to the Dolphins and it's like 350, 100 on the ground, 4 total touchdowns. Like
I do remember though, it was good by you guys, like building that half roof where you guys like literally grace whoever thought of that strategy of putting them the away team in the sun.
and it's brutal too. I got season tickets, and
We
I
need
saw
any edge we can get, Ceaz.
Literally,
shade.
because like I remember watching a Bills game, and they were, I think it was one of the first games of the year, right? They were freaking dogging out there,
Yeah,
bro.
and they lost that game.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, kudos to you guys for that. That's
And
awesome.
the Bills fans, they were like tagging OSHA and shit, trying to like, I swear, and they were serious. They were like tagging OSHA out there, trying to get them to make a commentary on like an unsafe work environment. That is crazy.
I mean, respect to them, they're trying, right?
I guess so.
Anything that they can
Six
get the
months
edge
later
to.
or 3 months later, they were pegging us with fucking ice balls.
I know.
Oh
You know,
my
that's
gosh.
a good segue here. That's a really good reason why hockey's awesome, because the fucking ice is the fucking ice.
Yep.
Yep. And although South Florida ice isn't that great, but I don't know. I watched the Edmonton when they went to Edmonton. I don't know about you guys, but the puck looked like it bounced a little bit more in Edmonton
Yeah.
than it
Yeah.
did in Florida. So that's also an advantage to us because the ice is a little bit less slick here, and it definitely had a big impact on the games. But you know, you got to use that to your advantage, right?
Yep.
Oh, the yellow snowballs. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I feel like Jonathan's dad just found out Santa Claus is fake.
Oh my gosh. So, it's hard being a Cowboy fan like it is for you guys to be a Dolphin fan.
Yeah.
But I always give you guys crap because I did see a Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
you guys always give me the 1972 bull crap, but
You won't hear that from us.
Use that. We don't
We
even
don't-
use that because like
we
it's
don't
kind
bring
of
that
lame,
one up
dude.
much.
okay,
And
okay.
people
I'm so tired of that bullshit. I'm not even gonna lie.
people stick
Okay,
to it, and
okay.
I'm like, this is so dumb. This is a dumb argument, man.
It's like, did you actually watch that game?
I wasn't even alive for it. How am I gonna talk shit about it?
Oh my god.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's a monumental part of history.
For sure.
Like it's the only
It's-
time it's been done ever. Like it is monumental, but like bringing
I'm not
it up in
using it in an
modern day
argument.
argument, yeah, bringing it up in modern day arguments is like, what are we doing?
What are we
Yeah.
doing here, right?
Grow
Come
up,
on,
Peter
guys.
Pan. Like, what are we doing, Count Chocula? Like, what's going on here?
Oh man, I am hoping though for a Cowboy Dolphins Super Bowl here soon.
Hey, I'll take it, buddy.
Bro.
Whatever you have as Dolphins Super Bowl, I'm in.
I don't even care. That means we won an AFC championship, and it's like, dude, that's
That means we won more than one playoff game.
brother. We want a playoff win. I haven't seen a playoff win like my whole life. I was a
Damn.
child. I was a child.
Please, I will tell you this: if the Dolphins ever win the Super Bowl, I
my
might
God.
need you to bail me out of jail.
Dude,
I am going naked.
You
down.
ain't seen somebody turn the fuck up until you see the Dolphins win the Super Bowl. This whole
Oh,
city might
damn.
burn down, brother.
It'd be crazy.
dude, that might be why they don't let us win.
Yeah,
guys will
they
be-
know better.
Okay. So who turns it up more, Bills fans or Dolphin fans?
Well, that's
Yeah.
not fair because we seen what the Panther fans can do when we start winning, right?
That's true. That's
So
true.
so let's wait to see if we win a playoff game. Let's see what the reaction is to winning a playoff game, and then we'll recircle this on another
Yeah, dude,
podcast.
that's a good point. Like those, I've been to Buffalo when the Bills weren't winning, and like that stuff wasn't going on. So winning does, like they weren't jumping through
100%.
tables when they were like three and
Winning
and,
helps
100%.
They were jumping
everybody.
off
three and
bridges.
13 seasons. They weren't doing that, dude. I was there, and none of that shit was going on. And then Josh Allen starts winning some games, like they start acting
Bro.
like the Bills Mafia and all that. I was
Right.
there. I saw it.
No, 100%. And I like what you guys did in this year's draft. I thought you guys did
Same.
really well. I think upgrading your offensive line just is going to definitely
Oh
help
shit, my
out.
phone's gonna die. Hold on.
That defensive tackle that you got, I actually had him high from Michigan, right?
Kenneth Grant.
Dude, I was like, he's going to be a dog.
He's very good.
And I think he's going to definitely help losing. I think you lost Walker last year.
Christian Wilkins. We were without him last year, but Zach Sealer, he's the dog in the middle there. So, but yes, he's like we usually go an hour, so we're at 1:15 now. But we want to.
Awesome, man.
We
My phone's like, bro, what are you doing? You're working overtime, bro.
We appreciate you coming on, dude. Is there anything? What are your podcasts? We want to make sure we plug those podcasts here.
Yeah. Definitely. Go check out the Big C show. So I'm gonna get a lot of special guests from throughout the sports world.
Mhm.
So basically, my platform is to show people how sports inspired them to be where they're at.
Nice.
And like, being able to share their stories. So I'm trying to get a couple of sports athletes on there and stuff like that. Like, how has sport helped them throughout their life,
Yeah.
and how has that impacted them? We also do a Cats and Rats podcast with the crew over there. If you guys are into hockey, definitely join them as well. We do it on every Saturdays, and since it's the off season, we'll do some off season stuff as well.
Nice. Yeah, you should definitely reach out to some of these players in the off season and see if you could grab them to come on the podcast.
Bro,
I think
definitely.
you're in the bag, dude. There.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I just got done doing an interview with Jesse Pollock. He's part of
Hell yeah.
Bar Down. So if you guys check him out,
Heck yeah.
really great guy. He gets a lot of shit because of the crap that he gives Toronto fans.
Mhm.
But in all seriousness, he's a really good guy. He helps with the Special Olympics every year, helps those athletes, and we're hanging out with him today in Elbow Room, and we are just shooting the shit, talking hockey, and
Yeah.
really good guy. Go check out that podcast. That was my latest episode. I also had Brandon Gaudin on as well, the Braves announcer. So he's also the voice of Madden. So if you guys are into Madden football,
Yep.
you guys don't know who Brandon Gaudin is,
Yep.
go check that out as well. So
That's awesome.
but yeah, really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been one hell of a run, and we got next year too. We're going for 3.
Let's go for 3, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go for 3, baby.
We'll
Gotta
stay in
keep
touch.
Ceaz and fucking Biz Nasty's fucking nightmares.
Right? Busy boy.
All right.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you coming through big season, spending some time with us, especially
Thank
on the
you,
no
guys.
sleep team. So we appreciate. Go get you some sleep, brother. We'll see you on the timeline tomorrow, man.
For sure, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Oh yeah.